For those born before the 2000s, how many of you missed the days when the possession of mobile phones was rare? I miss the early days where it functioned as just a phone and not an addiction machine for me. I miss people not knowing if I had received their messages. The plausible deniability was great for taking my time to reply as I was ready to. Now, people know you have a device on your person at almost all times, and when you don't reply for hours or days, they get insulted. Back when all you could do was leave a voicemail on their home phone, you would say you were away from the phone or hadn't checked the voicemail. I still ignore calls and texts because I can live with people feeling insulted, but I do miss the plausible deniability. I don't know that I do, really. Mobile phones increase safety, and I like having the ability to get directions or information when I need to. I had a period of time where I thought having a phone meant I had to be available, but I've sort of cultivated the concept that I just don't pick up or respond all the time, and everyone's been okay with that. I miss the small amount of time where cell phones were common, but people weren't addicted to them. I miss the respect people had about not calling late or not bothering you after you were off work. That's what I miss. Love having a phone, but hate getting texts from coworkers after hours about things that can wait until the next day or being woken up by friends in a different time zone even though they know I'm 3 hours ahead of them. We traveled the world without cell phones in the 1990s. It was fantastic. Had to actually interact with locals to get around and saw really cool places that they recommended. I wouldn't say I do miss it, no. Back in the day, if you were in line for something, you just had to stand there and think about your life. Now I can read no stupid questions while I wait. Incredible. Yup, born in 74. I got to travel a bit before cell phones. India and Nepal for 6 months, Amsterdam, Germany. People were different when they didn't have smartphones to be engrossed in. Now you can be in a small village in Southeast Asia and see someone doom scrolling on their phone. That is depressing, but some people do still try to be coherent without their phone. That's nice. On the whole, I'm glad smartphones helped people around the world, but I wish the makers would help impose the same limits that they do for their kids. One day, I was having trouble starting my car, coming home from work. I'm not mechanically inclined at all, so I wasn't sure what the issue was. In the old days, I would have had to flag someone down for help, or go inside and ask to call someone, either for a tow or a friend relative for advice or a pickup or to come help. In the modern day, I have the entire world's knowledge in my pocket. I did a Google search of my make, model, year, and issue. Saw it was a known issue that happened sometime with the model, and I had to do just a quick little thing to get my car to start. 2 minutes later, I was good and going. I don't miss the old cell phone-less days at all. I do miss those days. It was kind of nice when no one called late, and you could just be free to be out about not getting interrupted with calls or texts. I mean, it's a nice convenience now, but sometimes I just want to turn it off and everyone to accept that sometimes I'm unreachable. Before smartphones, when not every cell phone had a camera, cell phones were kinda common, just not constantly used like today, so they were usually stored away in the pocket or bag, and only used when needed. Texts and calling minutes were expensive, so there was a real incentive to just mingle in person. The sweet spot for me was when we had mobile phones, but not smartphones. You could get hold of people, but it cost money at a time when I was young enough for it to be a consideration who I text or called. Nobody was constantly on their phones, but the benefit of knowing where your friends were or not having to speak to someone's parents when you called their house was a huge thing for a teenager at the time. Yeah, definitely me. The world just seemed so much better. More communication, more sense of society, and generally more mystery to life, which made it interesting. Not too often, no. However, I really miss concerts where people connected to the music and danced. Now just sway with their phones equals. On a personal level, no. I'm one of those let's Google it types. I'll even do it when nobody's around and just fall down Wikipedia rabbit holes. Plus it's so convenient getting around, checking bus and train times, paying if you forgot your wallet, and a million other things. There are some things I dislike about it, like people who expect you to respond to them instantaneously at any hour of any day, and people who doomscroll social media when they are supposed to be doing other things like working or helping customers. But most of what I dislike has to do with others' behavior. I wouldn't get rid of all the things I like about it because dumb people are dumb with how they use it. Smartphones, yes. I don't miss either choosing between using the internet or using the house phone, but I did miss when technology was not as prevalent. Now, everyone is always up in their phone instead of living in the moment. What I don't like about smartphones is the data collection. The new bells and whistles collect more, so less is better. I just miss the time where nobody expected me to be available at any goddamn time to write or talk.